There's my leading man. Say something, Frankie.
Would you not do that, please?
You know what? I'm gonna take these cigarettes out of my pocket. Seems we're back on camera.
Okay,
Cool. Lead those kids astray. I was really surprised that I'd been offered the role and didn't quite understand how Jordan had arrived at that decision, that through the process of writing this, he came to the conclusion that I was the guy that he wanted to play this role. But he was very serious about pursuing me, and I got offered the film, and which has never really happened before. There was a cover letter attached, a long love letter from Jordan, citing the movies that I'd done in the past, and why he liked me and this and that. But it didn't really illuminate why he thought about me for this role specifically. And on the page, honestly, I kind of felt like it was a really great challenge, but maybe a challenge that was too big for me playing this character, because I was in the midst of Sons of Anarchy mode, and even actually more so than that, for about 5 or 6 years I've been playing pretty much exclusively like tough, head-cracking type of characters, and I just didn't really get it, because to me it played like a very kind of meek, passive, like dorky guy that like couldn't stand up to his brother, and I just felt like it would be a good challenge, but maybe I wasn't exactly the right guy. Compounded by the fact that I'm not a comedian, and there are a lot of really funny guys out there that would be better at this role than I would be. And so I talked to him about that, and he just said, listen, that's the way a lot of people read this, and a lot of people have questioned why I want you for the role. But here's the answer. I think that version of it is really boring. The like put upon meek brother who's taken advantage by his dominating big brother. What's much more interesting is if you're just a regular dude, like every dude in the audience is going to go and see this film, that's maybe punched a guy a couple times in the face in his life, who has gotten the girl a bunch of times, who's just a regular guy that everyone can relate to, who has this super like larger than life brother who would dominate anybody, who's a complete psycho. And he said that dynamic is much more interesting than the other one. And he said, and that's why I have arrived at you. And he said, and when you meet this guy, Chris O'Dowd, that I've hired to play your big brother, it's going to work. Because as tough as you think you are, like this guy is 6'6", and he's exploding with energy, and he's funny as can be. And if you surrender yourself to this dynamic, it's going to be believable that he would eat you for breakfast. And and that's what ended up happening. So
is that really Jack? No,
We might be doing a picture together.
When did you become a director, Bruce?
don't you remember all those funny movies you used to make when you were boys?
Hey, Frankie, let's go have a picnic.
For lots of love and plenty of soul. Yeah.
One of the wonderful things about doing these small films is normally as an actor, it's very compartmentalized, the filmmaking business. Like, you are just an actor if you're an actor, and you don't get a say in the script, you don't really get a say in the direction or anything else. But on these smaller films, it's a much more family-orientated process. It's much more collaborative, and Jordan was wonderful with me, and he brought me in, and I read with all of the girls, and we kind of arrived at Lizzy. Obviously it was his decision, but I was able to have a voice in that process, and I was so happy that we hired Lizzy, because she just came in, was amazing.
Are you okay?
So Frank, I was just wondering if perhaps you could just want me tonight. You can do, honestly, like whatever you want.
It's certainly more awkward to play aroused, and, because that's such an intimate thing that you normally only share with a loved one, your partner, or a drunken stranger, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I guess I never really thought about that. I guess it is slightly more awkward to play attracted to someone and lustful than impotent, but not to say it's not slightly humiliating. We shot that for all day long, and I got this, Lizzy's hot, so I got this super hot girl clamoring, climbing all over me, and I have to, play that I'm not aroused by this. I guess the simple answer is just all sex scenes are awkward to shoot no matter what.
I'm sorry that I'm crying. You must feel like enough of a failure.
Now you also have scenes with Ron that are very intimate. Now, you're no stranger to, obviously gay roles with queer as folk, but the fact that it's Ron I have to kind of feel like you guys have been friends for so long, you've worked together so much, and it's Ron Perlman. Did that make it more uncomfortable and kind of a tough thing?
No, definitely easier to do. Listen, if you have to, you know, for a straight man to have to kiss another man who's, you know, got a lot of stubble and twice his age, and stinks of cigars, I'd much rather that be my friend than a total stranger. You know, if it really is going to come down to having to, you know, to lock lips, there's no other man that I would like to kiss more than Ron. So, and it was me that got him the role, you know. And so we talked about Ron for the other role, the role that Chris Noth played.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Frank, you know my daughter?
Because that was the priority at that point, was filling that role. And we sent it to Ron, and he said, I think it's an okay role, but the role of Phyllis, darling, the role of Phyllis. And I said, Ron, what are you talking about? And he said, I've always wanted to play a woman. And I said, all right, man, whatever you want. I think secretly you've always wanted to make out with me, but if you want to phrase it that you've always wanted to play a woman, I'll go along with it. So yeah, I definitely only have myself to blame for that one.
What about Phil? Maybe he can help.
Who's Phil?
His cellmate from prison.
Phil?
It's Phyllis now.
Oh my God, that's weird.
Yeah, that's definitely not what I would have chosen, but he's so good at it.
Oh my God, it's amazing. And it was by far and away my favorite day ever. Like my favorite filming day in the history of my career. I just had such a great time, you know. I'm much, much younger and have way less experience of Ron in this business. And Ron is just a magnificent actor, and he just turns it on and off completely effortlessly. And so, you know, the relationship we have, Clay and Jax on Sons of Anarchy, is incredibly contentious.
What's the play?
I'm all out of play. I'm just trying to do what's best for Sam Crow. What's your play, son?
And if we're shooting 6 scenes over the course of a day where we want to rip each other's hearts out, I can't just like between takes start joking around with them. It's just I need to stay focused so that I can do my job, you know. And Ron is much more effortless than me, and he can just go in and out of it. So I find myself kind of holding Ron at an arm's length through the process of shooting Sons, which is kind of hard for both of us because we really like each other and we're pals and we want to hang out, but it's just better for me and my work if I do that. So this was a real opportunity for us just to enjoy each other as pals and like have like a fun day, and that's what it ended up being. You know, we shot all of Ron's role over the course of one day, and I just had a great time with him.
You also have Pacific Rim coming out, which to me is like the most anticipated film that people know nothing at all, like nothing about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were there for Comic-Con and listening to the panel, it's just like, wow, we still know nothing about this movie.
Yeah.
What's it like kind of promoting it and talking to people about it?
I've just done one little round of promoting it so far. It's Comic-Con. And I think that Guillermo's obviously, as you know, involved in every aspect of the films that he makes. And so he very strongly felt like it's going to be, because of the nature of this film, it's going to be a long development process. You know, from us wrapping the picture, they still had 18 months of work to do on it before it could be released because of the nature of the special effects and this and that. And so we felt, he just felt very strongly that on these long lead type of films, they just die from overexposure. Mm-hmm. So he had a very, very clear idea. He said, let's give him a little taste at Comic-Con and then absolute radio silence, and we'll tell you what the film's about a month before it comes out and hope you'll go watch it, you know? And so, of course, you know, I was just so honored to be working with him. I follow his lead completely and don't say anything about the movie other than the fact that I just think it's going to be spectacular. All right.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Is that a condom?
Yeah, that's definitely a condom.
John.